Hello and welcome back, and today's topic is a case of murder, mystery and other detective stuff. That's right, ladies and gentle ladies, today we're talking LA Noire. Now there's a lot of information about this game's contentious developments, but I feel there are people that have already covered it a lot better than I ever could. So have a look at the description for what I personally recommend, if I remember to put it there. So, let's go to LA and do some noiring. The game takes place during the late 1940s, after the Second World War, where you play as a former Marine by the name of Cole Phelps. He is on a crusade to clean up the shithole that is LA using his exceptional detective skills. He goes through many cases with many ups and downs before eventually coming across the biggest threat to law and order in all of LA. Its own corrupt leadership. As lead detective, he gets involved with a tangled plot involving a bunch of military grade morphine that was stolen by one of his military buddies back in the war. And it's also connected with some corrupt housing redevelopment scheme that's being used to embezzle money by a bunch of the most influential people in LA. He's also tricked into adultery by one of his fellow detectives, who then uses the information to try and get him thrown off the case. Oh, and also this happens.
Other side right now. Christ, what was that?
Eventually, Cole and company manage to uncover the corruption and bring it forward to the public, but not before Cole ends up drowning in a drain. There are a lot of cases with interesting stories of their own, but I feel there's too many of them to sort of cover them in more detail in this video. All that I will say is that it gives you an opportunity to use your detective skills. But more about that in the... Whilst the gameplay is made up of several different styles, it has some consistencies throughout. You investigate crime scenes, looking for clues, talking to witnesses, and using your detective skills to solve puzzles throughout. There are confrontations with people to get information out of them, hence the now infamous press X to doubt meme. Although in the Switch and HD re-releases, they've changed what the prompts say. But hey, who needs accuracy to the current version when you have memes? There are also some chases either by car or on foot, as well as a few gunfights. While you can drive around what is technically an open world, there isn't really much to do inside this admittedly pretty accurate recreation of 40s LA, although there's probably not enough shit on the streets to be completely accurate. The only things you can do outside of the main campaign inside this open world is stop crimes in progress and gather collectibles such as film reels, newspapers and etc. and etc. But the overall focus is on the main linear story. The game's main selling point is its motion capture facial technology that you use to try and read the facial expressions of whoever you're talking to try and deduce the right choices to make when talking to them. Unfortunately, with me being on the autistic spectrum means I'm not exactly the best at reading people's faces. Then again, this is an issue that I've heard quite a lot of people have with this game. And it doesn't really matter if you get things wrong, as you'll find a way to sort of solve the case anyway. The only real downside you'll get for getting the questions wrong is you'll get a lower score and get chewed out by your boss. The graphics are kind of a mixed bag, as while the environments and models look decent enough on their own, the highly detailed motion captured faces kind of look off on the sort of regularly detailed bodies. The best sort of analogy I can think of is when a wax dummy or a mannequin has a person's pre-recorded face being projected onto it. Feels kind of off. Basically, it's a case of grand ambition superseding technical ability. And as for music... Hang on, where's Music Master gone? He's in the next room waiting for me to interview him. Oh great, another absurd character for this show. Who the fuck are you? Name's Johnny Hardbald. I'm doing an investigation and I would like to ask you a few questions. Alright, go ahead, ask away. You moved houses recently. Are you aware that the people that moved into your old house found several bodies in their compost bin? No. Next question. Do you know a man by the name of Jeremy Turt? He's been suspected of several major and minor offences of recent. Do you happen to know anything about him? No, never heard that name in my life. Well, thank you for your time. Maybe I'll see you again at some point. Oh shit, what's Jeremy gone and done? Well, I guess I'm talking about the music myself this time. The music does a decent job reflecting the noir atmosphere and themes, and fits well with both the time period and or the current atmosphere of the moment. And there's some pretty catchy tracks in there as well. This was surprisingly good and an unexpected diversion for what I usually play. And despite all the issues that were happening behind the scenes, it came out as a generally interesting and engaging game. And I felt generally invested with the characters and the mysteries they had to solve. There's also some replay value as well, as you can play all of the missions separately to try and get a better score. Overall, I'd recommend this game and say it's worth giving a whirl. Well, that's all from me. See you next time, you filthy animals.
Baby, you know I'm guilty. Cops, judge and jury, they all agree. If love's the crime, I'm doing time, and I don't look like I'll ever get free. Yeah, baby, you know I'm guilty.
He's on a crusade to clean up LA via his exclusionary. While the gameplay is a mixture of several different styles, it has some consistent. You investigate great.